Good morning, beloveds. I found two lilies today out on the walk that the sun has not killed. So, well, there were a couple of more, but my rule is that if I can get up your driveway to take a picture of your flowers, I will. But I try not to step in your grass. I'm trying to be respectful of my neighbors. So, yeah, it's hot. We might get some rain though. I'm kind of excited about that. My grass is very thirsty right now. Last time I said, hey, the grass is thirsty. Will you water the grass? It rained for a week. So I'm like, do I want to ask Tom to water that little corner up there and have it rain for a week again? Maybe. All right. I got in my car yesterday. My car said it was 110. I was like, wow. I know where I live though. All right. So, today it is Friday. It is July 17th. I definitely don't want to go backwards this year. And our title is I See with the Eyes of God. And our Bible quote is, one thing I know, that whereas I was blind, now I see. And that is John 9:25. Early in my practitioner training, and it was probably Jesse that was telling the story about a very experienced practitioner who was having a health challenge, who went to a newly licensed practitioner and asked that newly licensed practitioner to pray for him. And of course that absolutely freaked out the new practitioner, going, well, you've been doing this for years. I believe that she said, or I may be conflating stories because this is possible, that it's like, don't worry about it. It's like, you're not the one doing the work. God will be the one doing the work, which reminds me that, and that may be where it came from. It's like, don't pray for the faith of God, pray from the faith of God. So this is kind of the same idea. It's like, I don't want to pray for the faith of God. I want to pray from the faith of God. I don't want to come to God. I want to come from God. I don't want to see God. I want to see as God. I want to see the way God sees. I want to see the world in that perfection that God sees, because God sees reality with the big R, not the little r that we see with all of the appearances. All right, so let's get on and see what Ernest has to say today. The ancients said that there is an all-seeing eye, and that if we could cause our physical senses to see with its vision, we would be looking at things as they really are. But it is not true. That too often we see. Oh, wait. Okay, let me back up. But is it not true that too often we see with a blurred vision because we are so confused mentally? The all-seeing eye of God, by its very nature, being one and only, must forever see things as they really are. This is why Jesus said to judge not according to appearances, but to judge righteously. We cannot expect to draw a pattern of this right seeing from the objective world of confusion or our inner thoughts of doubt and fear. Therefore, we are told to see and act according to the pattern shewed to thee in the mount. That is, we are to look and think independently of the confusion around us. We are to view everything as we feel the divine, infinite, and perfect being must know and understand its own creation to be. This is seeing with the eyes of God. Today, I am seeing with the eyes of the divine. I am looking at things in a perfect and direct way. I am seeing through confusion to peace, through doubt to certainty, through fear to faith. Quietly then, I review myself, those around me, and everything that occupies my attention, bringing to them all a broader vision, a deeper insight, a more complete perspective of the infinite harmony that I know is back of, in, and through everything God has made. I am keeping my eye to this one truth, that God has done, what God has done is good. Therefore, my experiences are good. What God has created is wonderful. Therefore, I am surrounded with good. In calm judgment, then, I sit quietly within myself and in my imagination look around me and see everything according to the divine pattern. As I do this, everything I look upon shall become transformed and reborn. Okay. So, the ancients said that there was an all-seeing eye, and that if we could cause our physical senses to see with its vision, we should be looking at things as they really are. That's perceptions and filters. Because we are spirit having a human experience, we are filtering through our own perceptions. And sometimes it would be helpful if we could get out of our own way, which is exactly what he says. But is it not true that too often we see with a blurred vision because we are so confused mentally? We're human. We are definitely seeing confused, and we are filtering it through our perceptions and our experiences. And when we've had good experiences, then we see good, and when we've had a negative experience, then we have So, are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? Because that's your filter. The more optimistic you tend to be, then okay. I'm reminded of Pollyanna. I mean, everything wasn't perfect in Pollyanna's world, but she definitely viewed things that way. And so things tended to work out better for her because she saw that good opportunity instead of focusing on the negative. Okay, the all-seeing eyes of God, by its very nature, being one and only, must forever see things as they really are. That's that big R reality. This is why Jesus said to judge not according to appearances, but to judge righteously. Oy, that word righteously can get us into a whole lot of trouble. When we look at the surface, we can be wrong. And then, but how do we judge righteously? And and I'm not even going to try there. That's a discussion for another day. Emma talks about righteousness. I think it was the 11th. I just finished mental science, and the 11th lesson is to judge righteously. And it is about judging. That's why Jesse uses the word discernment instead of judgment, because there's so much baggage around judgment, and righteous, there's a whole lot of baggage around that word too. But it is about looking at the divine plan. It is about seeing with the eyes of God. And one of the things about the eyes of God we have to remember is that the eyes of God are love. So when we judge righteously, we have to judge with love, not with anger. And frequently we have this tendency to judge with anger, and then that just deepens the morass. Okay. We cannot expect to draw a pattern of this right seeing from the objective world of confusion or our inner thoughts of doubt and fear or anger. Therefore, we are told to see and act according to the pattern, and this is a quote, pattern shewed to thee on the mount. Okay, so what pattern was showed to us on the mount? What mountain? Which mountain? But it may be the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus said, love one another as I have loved you. That is, we are to look and think independently of the confusion around us. We are to view everything as we feel the divine. Okay, we are to view everything as we feel the divine, infinite, and perfect being must know and understand its own creation to be, which is why I said we need to look with the eyes of love. And that does not mean that we are going to accept bad behavior, but that when we look with the eyes of love, we can understand the bad behavior, and then we can take steps to help modify that. So, looking with the eyes of love doesn't mean we're going to let them get away with it. What it means is that we are going to take an understanding perspective and take steps to help modulate that behavior into good, beneficial to all beings behavior, whatever that looks like. All right. This is seeing with the eyes of God. All right. I stand by my assertion that looking with the eyes of God is to look through the lens of love. So, power statements. Today, I am seeing with the eyes of the divine. I am looking at things in a perfect and direct way. I am seeing through confusion to peace, through doubt to certainty, through fear to faith. Quietly, because I don't do anything quietly, then I review myself, those around me, and everything that occupies my attention. So I am quietly reviewing myself. I'm quietly reviewing those around me and everything that occupies my attention. So I'm not being judgy, pointing fingers. I'm doing it quietly. I'm going, okay, well, am I seeing this with the eyes of God? Or am I allowing my emotions to color this in a way that it's not true? And that's definitely a worthwhile question to ask. And you may not be. I mean, you have every right to view things through the lens of anger, but when you take steps to right that, go back and look at the eyes of love. Because anger will frequently demand a harsher punishment, where love will ask you to take steps to build up. All right. Bringing to them a broader vision, a deeper insight, a more complete perspective of the infinite harmony that I know the back of, in and through everything God has made. So the eyes of God mean that we are looking for the infinite harmony. All right. I am keeping my eye to this one truth, that what God has done is good. Therefore, my experiences are good. What God has created is wonderful. Therefore, I am surrounded with good. In calm judgment, then, I sit quietly within myself, and in my imagination, look around and see everything according to the divine pattern. So, we talk about rose-colored glasses, and that's what he's talking about. It's like, look around and see everything around you with those rose-colored glasses. See those with the eyes of love. And go, okay, so now, what can I do about it? What steps can I take? What steps can I take in love? As I do this, everything I look upon shall become transformed and reborn. Yep. Because when you look through the eyes of love, that which was ordinary becomes magnificent. All right. So your mission, should you choose to accept it today, is to see with the eyes of the divine, to look with the eyes of God. And that is a tall order. But the more often you practice it, the better life will be. And I don't mean just for you. The better life will be for everyone around you. And it will gradually have this ripple effect out into the rest of the world. All right, I'm going to move on with my day and get that process on. So I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself today. I encourage you to do it every day. And I know it's July, and I know that I live in South Texas, but I still encourage you to get some fresh air. Code word, get a fresh perspective. Put it down, go take a walk, and come back and pick it back up. Whatever it is. Get your movement in. Laugh, sing, dance, giggle, run through the sprinklers. It is South Texas, or it is here. Do something that gets your body moving and get your mind moving, and we will get through this. All right, Reverend David will be on sometime around 5 with you today. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. because tomorrow is Squirrels in the Park Day. I'm going to go for a run in the park, and then we're going to take a walk and throw peanuts for squirrels. So I'll be back as close to 9 as I can manage. As hot as it is, we're trying to get there really early so that I'm back in time because we need to get out of the heat. So have a fantastic day. Know that you are the beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day.